tell you all about the things that I do to prevent my night terrors, as well as give you some information about CBD, what it is, and how it works. Now, if you watch my videos regularly, you may know that I had an episode with anesthesia awareness where I was accidentally awake during surgery, and that triggered severe PTSD. The effects of PTSD are not completely gone despite my therapy. There are some things that still linger, and one of those things is my night terrors. These night terrors range from anything from just sitting up in bed and screaming, "What the hell is that?" insisting to my husband that I'm seeing things that I'm definitely not seeing, to full-on jumping out of bed, full speed ahead into a wall, and breaking bones. They can be very dangerous. I've attacked my spouse in my sleep, and these episodes in and of themselves can be very traumatizing. So I want to make sure that I do everything in my control to make sure that I'm safe, and especially that my husband is safe. The first thing that I experimented with was trying to block out as much light as possible in the room. We realized that I was somehow opening my eyes in my sleep, and when I would see things in the room, strange shapes, I would equate them with something else in my imagination, and that would usually trigger the night terror. A sleep mask is something very simple. Here is a Marvel Spider-Man mask that I made, and I like these big ones because they block out a lot more light, and they sit really nicely into the crevices of your face and really make sure that they block everything out. This can be a little bit tricky because sometimes they fall off in the middle of the night, and then if there's a light in the room, something might happen, something dangerous. So while this is very, very helpful, it's not completely foolproof. So even with this, I'd say this only prevents my night terrors about 75% of the time if I use this without anything else. Another thing that I try and do is, of course, reduce my stress before bed. Cutting down on stress that you perceive as being harmful, as well as stress that could potentially be subconsciously harmful, is really beneficial to me. I love scary TV shows, I love scary movies, I like creepy stuff, and I spent my entire life sort of collecting these weird stories. I'm a huge X-Files fanatic, and when I ended up in this severe state of PTSD, I realized that even though I enjoyed these things, I needed to guard my psyche just a little bit more. Now, of course, I still watch these things, but now I'm a lot more careful about when I watch them. So I'll never watch something that could be potentially creepy or upsetting within a few hours of going to bed. And I make sure that I'm not reading creepy articles on the internet or looking at disturbing pictures. I try and cut back on the news right before bed because the world is a scary place, let's face it. So little things like that, as well as the ritual of taking a shower before bed, making sure that I'm at a comfortable temperature, getting my water set up next to my bed, setting up my things for the next day. These things that calm my nerves really, really help me relax and get ready for sleep. Another thing that I do is make sure that my sheets are tucked in, but I like to make sure that my sheets are tucked in at least to around where my knees are laying in bed. One of my doctors actually recommended that I sleep in a mummy bag, but like realistically, who wants to do that? I definitely didn't. So I decided to try this instead, and just being more tightly restrained in the bed is usually enough to sort of keep me from getting carried away in these night terrors and completely becoming mobile. And even if I do jump out of bed, at least the sheets slow me down. And the last thing that I have found that has been an absolute godsend and has literally changed my life, I'm not exaggerating, this has changed my life in treating my night terrors. I originally went to several doctors. I've had so many sleep studies done to try and find the reason behind them. I'm not having seizures, I'm not having sleep apnea. They did all these sleep studies and they couldn't find anything physiologically wrong with me. As far as my doctors can tell, the night terrors are just a residual symptom of the PTSD, and maybe I'll do more therapies in the future that will help. Maybe nothing will help. I might have this my entire life, but I can at least alleviate this symptom by doing these things. And I did visit a few sleep specialists who unfortunately recommended sleep aids to me. Now, they can be very easily overdosed on. I find them to be really dangerous. I don't think patients are informed enough of the risks of prescription sleep aids, and I don't think pharmacists are careful enough in their prescription of them. And in the past, I had taken sleep aids before they found my tumor, and I had a lot of insomnia problems, strangely enough, even though I was tired all the time. So I ended up on several different sleep medications, not knowing just how dangerous they were. And there was actually one medication that would make me stop breathing in my sleep. So when I sought treatment from the sleep specialist, they recommended muscle relaxants and this specific sleep aid. When I informed them that this sleep aid makes me stop breathing in my sleep, they recommended that I just try it again. Give it another go. No. Western medicine has its place in my life. It has a very important place in my life, and there are certain aspects of it that are so effective and irreplaceable. This is not one of those areas where I am going to leave my sleep and my safety to Western medicine. I did a ton of research, and I found that there have been some preliminary studies on treating night terrors and PTSD with CBD. So CBD is short for cannabidiol, which is found in hemp and in cannabis. And CBD, unlike THC, which you may have heard of, is a non-psychoactive phytocannabinoid which helps treat your body's endocannabinoid system. So just like a lot of people will end up taking medications to help them balance their bodies emotionally, your body produces chemicals. And a lot of times people who deal with depression, anxiety, seizures, all of these neurological and sometimes psychological disorders, they are basically lacking these chemicals in their brains in the right amounts and ratios that they need to function normally. So that's where medications, herbs, or things like CBD can really help treat your brain and your entire body and just make things work better. So CBD helps your body produce its own internal endocannabinoids, which can help with so many things in your body. The list literally goes on and on. And there has been a lot of stigma around it and suppression of research around CBD because while it can be found in hemp, CBD can also come from cannabis or marijuana. So not only does CBD work with your body's own endocannabinoid receptors, it works with your own opioid receptors, it works with your serotonin receptors. It just does all these great things for your brain and for your body, and it helps your brain help itself. Some of you may have heard of people treating their seizures or even children's seizures using medical marijuana. And that is a special strain of cannabis that is high in CBD. Now, THC is the compound in medical cannabis that gets you high. It's psychoactive. CBD is non-psychoactive. So that specific strain of marijuana is an indica sativa blend that is really high in CBD. And this industry is massively growing because there have been so many medications that these poor children who are suffering from crippling seizures have had to take all day, every day, and they're still not completely controlling all of their problems, whereas the introduction of this specific type of medical marijuana has completely stopped their seizures. So Charlotte's Web was this strain of marijuana that was really at the forefront of this CBD revolution and really getting it into the public eye as a potential replacement for a lot of psychoactive medications. You may have heard of antioxidants. They're present in a lot of superfoods and stuff that's really great for you. And the reason antioxidants are good for you is because they help reduce oxidative stress. Basically, oxidated cells are rotting cells. The DNA is breaking down, then the DNA can't replicate, your cells can't replicate, and this causes aging, illness, cancer, all kinds of things. CBD is one of the most potent antioxidants that you can find. Basically, CBD protects your mitochondria, and without your mitochondria, you're nothing. I started my journey with CBD and medical cannabis with tinctures, which until very recently I could not get my hands on because of the ridiculous legislation in this country surrounding cannabis. But Recently, we have had some wonderful legislation in California, and I have been able to use CBD. So I have been using CBD oil for about 2 years now to control my night terrors, and without implementing any other things to prevent night terrors, if I take my CBD, 99.9% of the time, I will not have a night terror. And this was going from having night terrors every single night, sometimes more than once a night, to completely suppressing them. I wasn't tossing and turning all night, I just felt better. I've been wanting to tell my subscribers about this and get this information out there for a long time, but until recently, I could not find a tincture that was not at least partially THC. I would usually find tinctures that were 18 to 1 CBD to THC. So for every 18 parts of CBD that tincture had, it would also have 1 part of THC, which is pretty negligible. Most of the time I could take the supplement and be up for a few hours and not feel any psychoactive effects whatsoever. Unfortunately, the oil is very expensive, so I usually ended up having to buy like the 50/50 tinctures, which worked fabulously, but they were psychoactive. So if I took a 1-to-1 tincture and then I was awake for an hour, I would start to feel pretty loopy and I would have to make sure I got to bed ASAP, which is totally fine. Honestly, I think the effects of the CBD and THC 50/50 tinctures were way less than the negative effects from taking any kind of prescription medication whatsoever. I've been really hesitant to share exactly how I treat my night terrors with the internet because there's so much ridiculous stigma surrounding CBD because of its whole medical cannabis aspect and it being inextricably linked to THC, and just the general misinformation of the public about medical cannabis and these compounds in general. So because a lot of these tinctures were not legal in all 50 states and are still not legal in all 50 states, I have not shared this information. This CBD right here is legal. This is 100% CBD, no THC, so it is completely legal, completely non-psychoactive. You cannot get high from using just CBD. So this product is Cbd Biologics Super Cbd from Ojai Energetics, and let me just tell you, this stuff is amazing. So a lot of the other tinctures that I have, and it's not that they're bad, they just take a really long time to work, they're expensive, and I was able to take a pretty small dose of them. I mean, like, most of the droppers are the same size, and I was able to take a pretty small amount, maybe like a third of a dropper, half a dropper, and have it work really well for me. So basically the serving size for this that is recommended is 1 dropper full, and it has 30 servings per container, and the CBD amount in this is 8.3 milligrams per serving. And what makes this so significantly different is that it's more bioavailable. What that means is that your body can use it and metabolize it more quickly than other CBD tinctures and oils. The reason for that is that other CBD or CBD THC tinctures and oils are basically just a mixture of cannabis oil in a carrier oil. So like coconut oil, you know, those really good, healthy, fatty oils. The problem with that is that when the CBD is suspended in those types of oils, your body has a harder time breaking down those fatty molecules to get at the CBD. So basically, with those traditional oils, you're losing 90% of the CBD that you're purchasing because your body is disposing of 90% of it. It's also the reason that those other oils take so long to work. So like I said, I would take my other oil and maybe after an hour start to feel the effects. So this, I have been using this for about a week now, and this works in about 10 minutes. I can tell it's working because I instantly feel more relaxed, I feel happier, I feel like I'm ready to go to sleep, I'm not nervous, and it's actually been helping me with pain. So that's just another really great benefit on the long list of the benefits of CBD. And so basically the reason that this works differently and better and gets the CBD into your system is because it's water soluble. So the CBD oil is encapsulated in what they call nanobubbles, so that way it starts working and it gets into your body and your bloodstream as soon as it makes contact with your tongue. So that means this starts working right away. Because it's more bioavailable, you're getting 10 times more potency, you can take way less of it, and even though the recommended amount is 1 full dropper, I've been experimenting with this a little bit and find that I can get by really well with about 1/3 or 1/4 of a dropper full. So that's pretty amazing. Of course, if you want to take more, it just works better, it makes you more relaxed, it helps you sleep deeper, and I have done that as well, but I'm a penny pincher, so I use less. The recommended way to take this is you take a dropper full. I will warn you, it tastes real earthy. That's part of how you figure out how much you need. You take a full dropper, you put 1/4 of a dropper under your tongue, and you're just gonna keep adding 1/4 of a dropper until it starts to taste sweet. Which for me, that was it. I don't need more than 1/4 of a dropper. So I suppose, like, depending on your body chemistry, you might need more, but I just put 1/4 of a dropper under my tongue, held it there, tastes real earthy, and then you just hold it there and it starts to taste sweet, and then it tastes like honey. I will disclose this is a sponsored video. They did send me these products. I'm gonna keep buying this even after I run out. This is far and away the best CBD product that I have found, and it's really helpful if you just want the effects of the CBD and you don't want to get high. So I don't care, no judgment here. If you want to get high, it's way better than drinking alcohol. No one has ever died from getting high on weed, ever. Google it. So another product that they sent me is the Cbd Coconut Oil. It has 60 milligrams of CBD in every jar. And this, I was expecting to smell real earthy, but it doesn't. It just smells like delicious, light, beautiful coconut oil. And what this is great for is, like, you can use it for oil pooling, you can add it to your food, you can cook with it, add it to smoothies. Something that you should try that is really amazing. Take your regular, just plain black coffee, put it in your blender with 1/2 tablespoon of coconut oil. Blend it up. It is the most delicious, sweet, creamy coffee without any milk, without any sugar. It's completely vegan and it's magical. You can replace that coconut oil with this CBD oil and get all of the benefits, and it's magical. I get a lot of jaw pain, and I like to just take a little bit of this on my fingertips, like you can just tell it's slick and oily, and I like to rub it behind my jaw. And this, even topically absorbed, instantly helps alleviate the pain. So that is pretty much all of the information I want to put in this video for you about my night terror treatment and CBD and how effective it has been for me. I have been hunting for a couple of years now for the best products, and I am completely certain that for the purposes of CBD, for treating your pain and your PTSD and getting it into your body effectively, these are the best products. They're really careful about where they get their plants. They have amazing relationship with the farmers who grow their plants. They're 100% organic. Actually, I kept the box for this because I wanted to show you. It is herbicide-free, pesticide-free, GMO-free, wind-powered, corn-free, soy-free, and made with love. I thought that was adorable, so I kept the box so I could show you in this video. If you want to learn more about these specific products, make sure you check out their website below. I'll link it in the description, and I encourage all of you, if you don't know anything about CBD, just dig a little bit deeper. The pharmaceutical industry has a lot to lose by people taking control of their own health and using natural products. Now, I'm not a doctor. None of these statements I have made in this video are intended to diagnose or treat you in any way, shape, or form. I'm just speaking from my research and my personal experience, and I can 100% passionately endorse this product and endorse CBD. And hopefully, if you're suffering from some of the same things I was, maybe you can bring this into your life and just help make your life better. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell next to that button if you want to get updates when I post new videos. Be sure to like this video and post a comment below telling me what you think. I'd love to hear if any of you have had any experiences with night terrors, PTSD, or if CBD has worked for you. Tell me all about it. Tell all of your fellow commenters about it. I really believe in this treatment.